All right, everybody. So I wanted to go over this position with you guys live as I'm doing my pre-market analysis. I'm starting to record my positions so I can go back and see where I did well on. Unfortunately, didn't record audio on this specific trade. My mic was muted the entire time. But this is a position that I ended up catching. I ended up getting a nice little scalp to the upside. I made $14,000 on a bounce play, which I'm going over the journal now. So we'll kind of discuss our multiple and things as the video plays out. This was on my futures portfolio. I would like to start trading CFDs again, but the problem is the execution on Ventura's a bit slow. So I do want to look for other alternatives. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm probably gonna go back and trade on Athens again since their execution is fast, and I already have money in Athens with the bot trading on that account that I have in Athens. So other than that, I ended up catching a bounce play here on ES, like I said previously. Now, a lot of you guys were like, oh, the market's done today. Why did you look to take buys? Really, it just came down to order flow, which this is the position that I ended up catching right here. And I was looking to take another buy down here at the previous week's lows at 50.63, which, as you guys can see, that would have been such a killer trade. But it's been such a long and frustrating day, honestly, guys, that I was looking for multiple different positions throughout the day, mainly to look to take buys above 50.89, and I just never did. I was a little bit too biased on the day. And it's like, okay, well, these days where there's economic data, I just got to learn to stop being biased and just keep going with the flow of the markets. It's funny because when I do find a bias in the markets, it's like price action does the complete opposite. And I need to start trading with the trend a little bit more. Nonetheless, it was still a great trading day. I made a $14,000 profit, as you guys saw, and I do apologize for any background noise. There is construction going on in my house, so I'm going to lower the gain on my microphone a little bit just in case. But other than that, so what I was looking at here and why I was looking to take a buy before you actually look at the video itself, we have a major key level here on ES being 50.89, which this is where initially we saw the rally of the bull run actually start at this 50.89 range. So this is going to be a major key level for me. And what I was looking at essentially is when price action came down to this area, we had a little bit of a bounce and then we had a close under. Notice the rejection towards the downside on this candlestick. So I was looking at the footprint charts and I was looking at volume and delta. And what I saw was that, yes, there was aggressive buying or there was aggressive selling in this range, but there was no follow through. There was no real follow through with the aggressive selling. Those aggressive sellers weren't being rewarded. And momentum to the downside looked like it was actually slowing down. Now, I did jump the gun on the entry and I entered on this bullish candlestick. But once I saw that there was aggressive selling and that aggressive selling wasn't being rewarded, essentially what that's telling me is that there are passive buyers absorbing those orders. And when that aggressive selling demand actually does slow down, we should see a move to the upside. And I thought to myself, okay, well, if we're going to see a move to the upside and we're bouncing off this major key level where there was a ton of buying demand last time we saw a bounce off this key level, we could possibly come back up into the 5107s. So it wasn't like I was trying to shoot for a home run trade, although that's kind of what it would have been. This would have been an absolutely amazing home run trade, but unfortunately, I traded the wrong home run trade. I mean, it still made money, but I'm always just trying to find different ways to actually improve. And I want to show you guys that again, like trading is trading, and it's always going to be difficult, and you just have to find different ways to navigate around the markets and find what's best and suitable for you in the long term. So going back to this video here, I'm just gonna play the video. As you guys could see, I didn't really like my entry. I felt like I really jumped the gun on the entry because I entered when my game plan was to enter once we see price action break above this 59.80s range, because again, that aggressive selling wasn't being rewarded. We didn't see an immediate dump to the downside. We had a very weak candlestick closure, and I did see a bunch of passive buy orders actually get filled on the heat map as well. So it was kind of like a combination of order flow, or of mainly order flow and price action that actually helped me catch this specific trade. As you guys can see, I'm risking $13,000. Stops at 50.83 under this previous 5-minute candlestick low. Take profit is at 5107. So I'm just going to kind of fast forward here. So price action was consolidating, and again, I was just thinking to myself like, well, that's what I get for not waiting for the candlestick close, because I didn't want to miss out on the actual move. I saw a ton of orders coming in. I was like, I don't want to miss out on this move, and I ended up just taking the trade when price action ended up closing above this 50.89 range with the stops down here. And again, to me, it's like, okay, well, the trade is valid, yes, but this is not my entry. So I don't want to say that I broke my rules because my rules were to get in above 50, above 5089.25, and I did do that, but I wanted to wait for the candlestick close. So I could have easily been punished for nothing, just by waiting a few more seconds for that 5 minute to actually close. And as you guys can see, price did come down very, very close to my stop loss. I think I saw like a max drawdown on this trade of like $9,000 or $10,000 on this specific trade. And I'm just basically waiting for price action to do its thing here. So I did have a lot more confidence when price action actually did close back above the 50.89s range. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna let price do its thing. I'm gonna go shower, and I basically set an alert at this area right here. You guys can see the alert, and that was going to be my 1R multiple alert. So once I basically came back to the computer and I saw that my 1R multiple, so it's like, okay, well, let's kind of check this out. We can already kind of see the result of the trade. So to me, it was like, okay, I'm going to do one of two things. My 1R multiple already got hit. I'm going to wait for price action to come back down. I'm going to throw my stop loss up a little bit higher. And at this point, I had a mental stop. I had my mental stop around this area, 50.86, which basically cuts my position, my losing position, in half. I wasn't going to give price a ton of room to actually breathe, but I did see there being a possibility of price action coming back down to the 50.89s before we could potentially come back up into the 50.107s. And to me, it's like, okay, well, yes, I was up $14,000 even on my trade, and I could very well just move my stops to break even. If I get taken out of break even, whatever, it is what it is. It was basically a free trade that just didn't work out in my favor. And to me, it's like, okay, well, or I could risk $7,500 since I already have a floating equity of $6,500 at this point in time to potentially triple that or double it and make $34,500. And I was like, okay, well, that's just what I'm going to do. Let's just wait and see if price action could take out this 50, let's call it 50.97 minor resistance range here, because I'm not really seeing like aggressive selling on this area. So let's just kind of wait and see if price could do that, which price action consolidated for a little bit longer, and price action did. Now I'm floating $18,000 in profit. And at that point in time, I moved my stop loss to break even and say, okay, bro, I'm up $18,000. There's no necessity for me to lose money on this trade. And as price action was consolidating, I was like, you know what? Like, we're still kind of overall bearish. We're still trading under the VWAP. I'm not seeing a lot of volume coming into the markets. So I'm going to move my stop loss under this candlestick low over here, which, as you guys can see, I trailed my stop loss from that candlestick low, because when this 5-minute candlestick closed, that's when I wanted price to just full volume, full steam, push up into the 107s. And if price action would have done that, then fantastic. I would have made $34,000. And I knew the risks that I was taking. I knew there was a high probability of my trailing stop loss getting hit, but it didn't really matter to me, because if price action were to start to get back under this 50.97 range, then there's a greater chance we're going to come back down all the way to my entry, and I want to get taken out of the position by then. So as you guys can see, I'm just kind of floating in profit there. The next candlestick opens up, and basically it just stops me out. So I ended up securing $13,000, or I ended up making $13,700 on the trade, which, again, it's not like a huge profit, but considering the conditions and the position that it was in, I think I did very well on this position. I don't think I really could have executed. Not executed. I don't think I could have done my trade management any better, but I definitely think my execution could have done better. As you guys could see, there it is. My stop order got filled, and that is it. I am out of the trade officially, and I ended up making $13,744 on this trade. So I thought it was a fairly good trade, especially the implementation with order flow. I'm just still getting confident with order flow. The only thing is that I should have just stuck around for the rest of the day and waited to see if price action would have came back down into the 50.63s, because once price action broke under for a second time, I'm like, okay, well, if we could hold under this area, then I could short it down to 50.63. It's like, okay, well, if I miss the 50.63 shorts, then I could look to take longs up into the 50.89s again, which is going to be the same range. And I missed out on both fucking trades, but that is part of trading. There's going to be more opportunities tomorrow. Nonetheless, so still a green day. And I'm just going to still just try and focus on order flow as much as I can, especially when it comes to my next few trades. But other than that, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.